This video is mainly for, for people that are creative, but just with discovering anything that you do. It's so freeing to not care what other people think. If you're a creative person, there's something that's dying to live inside of you, but you won't allow it to come out. Hey, what's up? It's James E. Walker, man of many hats, artist of many acts, designer, artist, and illustrator. Welcome to episode 12 of my Jewel Drops, which are weekly videos that I put together to help other creatives like myself stay creative. And it also helps me to hold myself accountable because consistency is key. So in this video, I want to share with you how I actually developed the mindset which led me to discover my true passions as a creative. And the reason I want to share this is because I meet a lot of people with phenomenal skills, in my opinion, but they still haven't recognized these gifts. And I also meet a lot of people that just look at me like I'm just this naturally gifted, talented person that have gifts that they don't possess, but that's not true. Sometimes as creatives, we don't sit still long enough to actually develop the mindset to discover these passions. And so here's my insight. Step number one is I had to give up the act of worrying about what other people thought and do more of what makes me happy. And the reason why I say that is because it's nothing like feeling like you're trying to live out somebody else's dream. You just become this unhappy or depressed person. You're scared to allow your voice to be heard. You're scared to state your opinions. You're scared to just do the true things that you really have a natural high in doing. I mean, seriously, stop thinking about what everybody else think, man. It's a heavy burden to carry. We don't even want to hear our own voices anymore, and you find yourself chasing these dreams or trying to fit in. That's another sign that you haven't actually faced your own demons and you haven't actually tackled the true issue. And recognizing the things that made me happiest is what allowed me to exercise this first step. Step number two is I had to purge myself from all false beliefs and remove myself from all negative energy and any type of distractions. I call it hibernating. And this is where I actually went into my man cave to immerse myself within myself. I stayed away from anybody that I felt like wasn't trying to do something positive. I stayed away from anyone that was, trying to inflict or propose or project any type of negative energy or just negative distractions. Sometimes it's not necessarily just negative energy, but it's distractions. During this period in time, there were phone calls that I just couldn't take. There was emails that I just could not open. There was people that was inviting me to come out to events and activities that I just could not be a part of. Even though you remove yourself from somebody, you still have to purge their thoughts out of your head. Sometimes it's going to take these type of moves to purge yourself from false beliefs and remove yourself from all negative energy and distractions. Step number three, I had to ask myself deeper questions about what I truly wanted and then meditate on those questions. A lot of times we ask ourselves rhetorical questions, but we're not really wanting to answer those questions. These are things that I do daily. These are things that I'm constantly doing as a creative. What do I truly want? Why do I want it? I feel like society has deemed success to be a certain thing, a certain way, but success is what you make it. Success is about what's important to you. What I started noticing is a pattern in these answers. We have to take the time to actually meditate on these things and ask and ask and ask. And I just started discovering a pattern in my answers, which led me to realize I had to do some things differently in order to get different results. Step number four, I really had to sit down and reflect on all of the things that I was naturally good at. I had to think about all of the things that I used to do as a child all the way up to now, when I realized the fact that everything that I'm doing right now it's the exact same thing that I was doing as a kid. I mean, literally, most of you know me as a designer, an artist, an illustrator, or a musician. Some type of hat you've seen me wear over the years. And when I reflect on the natural instincts, these small little ideas, these small little flashbacks, that's when I really started to embrace everything that I was naturally good at, and I just started educating myself on these things. That's when everything started churning. Just a short story, when I got serious about doing graphic design, when I got serious about illustrating, I was a bit amazed at how fast I was picking all these things up. It wasn't until I actually read The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, the idea of the 10,000 hour rule, I realized I have this natural skill, but it's only because it's been cultivated since I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Step number 5, I only read, listened, or watched positive or inspirational content during this period of solitude. I stayed away, like I say, from negative things, and I only read positive material, I only listened to positive material, I only watched positive material. There was this feeling of love that I just constantly wanted to express. I remember reading the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. For those that know me, man, know that I'm an avid reader, but there were a few books that I was reading at this time that just had me really in tune with nature, and really just in tune with creation as a whole. So it only makes sense for me to feel like, if I'm a creative person, I should be pulling from the resources of the most creative. I would go out into nature, and I would, take time to be in alignment with things on a spiritual level. And I think anybody that's creative feels like just the act of whatever you are doing is a spiritual act. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. But I feel like just to pick up a pen and write, to think, to meditate, or to paint, to design, to do anything creative, to rap, to produce music, to play an instrument, all of these acts are spiritual acts of creation. So last but not least, step number 6, I had to write out a plan of action and then get started on making the necessary baby steps to achieve the goals that I had in mind. These are 6 steps that I'm constantly revisiting. Not a once a year thing. It's not a New Year's resolution thing that I do on New Year's Eve of every year. These are things that, as a creative person, I go through on almost a daily basis. I have to constantly keep writing. Sometimes I'm just writing ideas out. Sometimes I'm going back and reevaluate to see, did I fulfill it or did I fail? It's methods like this that allowed me to put myself in position to take a leap of faith, to quit a job that I had been at for 6 years. A lot of people ask me, where did you get this courage? It was these necessary steps that I took to help build up the courage, to help build up my faith, to help build up my mindset. And that's what allowed me to recognize my love for photography, my love for graphic design, my love for art. And the more I would continue to hit certain milestones, the crazier I would get with my ideas, the more courage I would get, the more I would want to take greater leaps of faith. It's how I discovered that I could do film, that I could do music, that I could be an entrepreneur, and continue to flush out my love for creativity, being in tune with nature, being in tune on a spiritual level. When all these things come full circle, these are the things that help develop the mindset. And I'm speaking from my experience, and I hope that me sharing my experience touches some creative out there that has struggled with the same roadblocks to discover what your true passion is. So that's all I got for today. James E. Walker, man in many hats, artist of many acts. Hope that this video has inspired you to stay creative. If it has, I'd like to hear about it. Make sure you drop me a comment, click like, because this allows me to know that this video is relevant to you. And remember to subscribe and hit the like button if you would like to be notified every time I drop these weekly videos. Jewel drop for the day. Peace.